I feel sorry to the fans because the fight is boring. The fight is boring. Like that's not the fans are expecting to us.
Pretty certain Terence Crawford in his brain is saying to himself, I can beat this dude. You know what I'm saying? If he actually goes through with it, he'll be 38 years of age next Sunday.
There's a guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf.
Crawford delivered enough action and showcased his skills so clearly that even a casual observer could recognize they were watching an elite athlete perform at the highest level. His performance captured the sports world's attention and respect in a way that went beyond what he earned after beating Spence, elevating his standing to another level.
The fight is boring. Like that's not the fans are expecting to us. I mean, as a fighter, if I'm a fan, of course I want to see a good fight, like changing fight, not a passion show.
Here's a tighter, smoother rear ride of your passage. Manny Pacquiao has openly criticized Floyd Mayweather, saying he pities a retired champion for being driven almost entirely by money. In Pacquiao's view, Mayweather's returns to the ring have nothing to do with legacy or the sport itself, but rather with cashing in on exhibition spectacles. He dismissed the idea of a potential showdown with Terence Crawford as a money grab, not a true contest, arguing that this approach empties boxing of its spirit and reduces it to a business performance. Fighters parading like models on a runway, instead of battling like warriors in a ring.
Now, in the beginning of this conversation, you say, I don't like boastful people. How was it like fighting Mayweather then? Did he get on your nerves? Because I feel like he's a little bit more boastful than the people you might be wanting to hang out with.
Yeah, he's boastful. I think his God is the material things, money, everything like that. I'm pretty with him because I want to share the word of God in him if he believe God.
Yeah. I've heard he's a generous man. I think he's done good things. I think, he kind of reminds me of like a lot of people are like this, by the way, including myself. I'm not just saying him. I'm including myself. The man who goes up to Jesus and says, what should I do to get into heaven? He says, sell all your belongings. And he walked away crying because he couldn't sell his belongings.
Exactly.
The announcement of a 2026 showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Analysts were quick to note that the matchup is less about two fighters at their peak and more about an entertainment spectacle built for revenue. Marketed as a tune-up for Mayweather ahead of a potential clash with Terence Crawford later that year, the event is expected to generate massive pay-per-view numbers. With Tyson's enduring legend and Mayweather's global brand, the fight is guaranteed to capture worldwide media attention, even if its sporting value is minimal.
Broadcast for Jake and Tyson, and some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules. Exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
So you don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Again, Terence Crawford has consistently shown admiration for Manny Pacquiao. When speaking about him, he emphasized that Manny's career stands alone in boxing history. the Filipino icon, captured title roles across multiple weight divisions, often fighting bigger opponents and winning against the odds. Crawford expressed that Manny's success was not only historic, but also nearly impossible for anyone to repeat since he achieved greatness in a unique era by taking on challenges no other fighter would dare attempt.
Man, a generational, talented fighter. Like, he's accomplished what no other fighter is ever going to accomplish.
The idea of Terence Crawford facing David Benvitz has become a popular talking point among fans. Benz is viewed as one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport today. With size, youth, and aggression on his side, supporters believe that such a matchup would test Crawford in ways no other opponent has so far. Despite this, excitement no official confirmation has been made, leaving the debate as speculation. The discussion highlights the hunger among boxing fans for meaningful, high-risk fights that go beyond exhibitions and celebrity-driven spectacle.
Shocked the world, not me, but shocked the world. This past Saturday, Mexican Independence Day weekend, what he took on and defeated another first ballot Hall of Famer, but he essentially jumped up 3 weight classes, technically 2, from 154 to 168, but only had 1 fight at 154 last August against Israel Majimov. Terence Crawford defeated Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight, and the reigning, at the time, super middleweight world champion, undisputed world champion. And Terence Crawford beat him handily and convincingly. And because he beat him so easily, now the 63 win, 3 loss, 2 draw, 39 win by way of knockout, biggest threat has been now imposed on Terence Bud Crawford. And that's the Mexican Ecuadorian monster, David Benavidez, who is a 2-division undefeated world champion, is the 2-time WBC super middleweight and reigning WBC light heavyweight, 175-pound champion, who has a record of 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout. He stands 6'2" with a 75-inch armies. This is a fight that David Benavidez has been calling for Canelo Alvarez when he was at 168, and Canelo Alvarez strategically maneuvered around him. But Canelo Alvarez is 5'7", with a 70-inch army, started his career at 147 pounds, made his real name at 154 pounds. He's not a big guy, okay? And styles make fights. Benavidez is 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach. His last fight at 168 against Demetrius Andrade, he rehydrated to 193. So he's a big guy. Canelo Alvarez probably rehydrate to 182, maybe 185 max, right? He's not a big guy.